In this story, a man met a woman who initially seemed genuine and loving, but later discovered that she had married him for financial security. During his battle with cancer, he confronted her and found her cheating on him. She sought financial help from her mother, revealing her superficial and manipulative nature. He posted a video online, which led to public shaming and potential legal consequences for her and her lover. The man survived cancer, found a new love, and built a happy family, while his ex-wife faced the consequences of her actions. Now let's get into the story. My wife, a model from the age of 3, participated in beauty pageants. When I first met her at 35, I thought I met the rarest woman in the world. Beautiful, selfless, and genuine, she was so convincing. But now I know her mother raised her to be a manipulative, shallow dog. I found out my wife only married me to ensure her financial security. I had a small fortune to my name when I was diagnosed with cancer. My chances of survival were said to be very low, even though I was extremely fit and healthy. I didn't believe this diagnosis. I believed in my ability to overcome the sickness and eliminate it completely. I continued dating, telling each woman I met about my diagnosis. Most women gave me a fun night, then admitted they couldn't commit to someone only to watch them die. It was tough, but I knew I was going to survive. So when I met a beautiful woman who wanted to commit to me despite cancer, I was thrilled. I believed she had faith in me to overcome it. We got married after a year, which was faster than I expected. But I thought she loved me, and I wanted her to be my wife before my time was up. Little did I know that shortly after that, she would get short with me. Even though she hadn't fully moved in with me, out of her apartment, she did spend many nights at my house. But those became less frequent. I didn't have to ponder what to do for very long. I showed up at her apartment unexpectedly. When I arrived, I saw a different car and knew this was it. She was cheating. It hurt, but the whole time we dated, I had a little voice in my head that wondered if she was faking it all. I know I probably shouldn't have married her with that little voice, but I did. When I got inside with the spare key she kept in her car, I heard motion upstairs. I went up there and deliberately opened the bedroom door. They screamed and stopped doing the nasty. It was harder than I expected to handle my emotions, seeing her like that with someone else. AP came at me, but she screamed for him to stop. He looked more like the man you'd expect my wife to be married to. He watched her, quite puzzled and angry, while she frantically explained to me that he meant nothing to her and she wanted to go home with me right now. She looked at AP with panic in her eyes, like she wanted to tell him she'd miss out on hundreds of thousands of dollars if he didn't play along, but she couldn't say that. So she tried to leave with me quickly. He wasn't having that and demanded to know what the hell was going on. I was pretty much letting things unfold without saying anything until I knew I would be heard. She couldn't face us and risk exposing her lie, so she left, telling me we'd talk back at my house. I told AP everything. Towards the end of it, he grew annoyed and irritated, so he left. At my house, she called her mom, unaware that I set up a hidden camera in case she came back. She worked up some fake tears and complained that the check she told her about was taking much longer to arrive in the mail than she thought. She sounded like a whiny child as she asked her mother for a loan of $5,000. Her mom easily agreed and asked her how that nice man, AP, was doing. She said he was great, but he only got half the amount of money he expected from his last job. Her mother only talked about how her daughter deserved nothing but the best and that she shouldn't settle for anything that isn't good enough. While watching this video, I could not believe how shallow and pointless these women sounded. They were literally wastes of space. The only reason they made it so far in life was because they were beautiful on the outside. Everything was superficial to them, and they would lie to get what they believed they deserved, no matter what it did to other people. When I got home, she was gone, and I filed for divorce. But the best revenge I got was when I posted the video of her talking to her mom online. People pointed out that AP might have been committing insurance fraud too, since she mentioned how he didn't get paid as much as he expected for his last job. Maybe they were in on it together, and AP was also acting when I met him. I doubted this theory, but I did report it all to the police with his information and the video. I never heard anything from the police, but hopefully, if they did this to other people in the past, they'll be stopped. But strangers on the internet weren't done yet. Strangers shamed my ex for being a pile of steaming crap, as they couldn't believe this woman took advantage of me while I fought off cancer. She became famous as an example of what a woman should never become. She hated me and ruined countless job opportunities for her. She was so recognizable as a terrible person that no company wanted her to advertise their product. She moved away and laid low, living a below-average, not-so-glamorous life. I'm proud to announce that I am a cancer survivor, and since all this happened, I've remarried and had a child. We run marathons together as a family, and it's a life I'm happy to be here for today. Today's second story. In this story, OP has gone through a traumatic experience involving his wife's infidelity with his brother, leading to a divorce. He also discovered he is not the biological father of his daughter. The family dynamics are shattered, and the author is struggling with mixed emotions, including love for his ex-wife and a desire to start anew. Despite the uncertainty, he has chosen to focus on rebuilding his life and spending time with his son while leaving behind the family's inheritance. Now let's get into the story. I have been married to my wife for 15 years. I'd also have a son. My family consists of my mom, dad, sister, and younger brother. Last year, I found my wife crying in our bedroom. I consoled her, and she told me she was pregnant. I was elated and explained to her that it was great news. The color of her face then changed, and she told me it is not and left the room. During that time, I also found out that she spent an excessive amount of time on the phone. I took care of her alone, doing the cooking and cleaning, as the COVID situation was high, so no one could come in. She gave birth to a healthy baby girl who looked just like her mother. Adorable. Fast forward to last month and this month. My brother used to frequently visit us, which I thought was fine, until it became an everyday occurrence. But hey, he's my baby brother. This month, we went to our parents to stay there for 2 weeks. I saw my wife getting awkwardly close to my brother. I was the primary breadwinner of both families. My father owned a few shops under my direct control, and I'm an investment banker. Apart from this, we also have several houses that we rent out. So, I stayed busy most of the time. But whenever I came home, I saw my wife and brother spending time together, which was weird considering she was close to my sister before. I also noticed my sister spending more time with me. I got the sense that something was up, and my sister wanted to tell me something. I asked her several times, but she assured me everything was all right. Last week, my father asked me to spend some time with him fishing, just me and him. I agreed, and during that time, he told me stories about fish and how he spent time with his father. He went on to praise me about how good a son I was, and that he was proud of me. I sensed there was a bigger picture. He also told me that he's disappointed in my brother because he has no goals set, doesn't work, does pot, smokes, and is an alcohol addict. My father wasn't very close to my younger brother, but my mom was. When we were leaving, he told me he has to go somewhere, then gave me the fishing kit and a small piece of paper. When I opened it, my entire world turned upside down. It was a paternity test. I'm not the father to my daughter. I rushed to my home, the family home. Everyone was there and confronted my wife and brother. They both accepted it and apologized to me, telling me it was a mistake. I further found out that it's been going on for a year, and they both love each other. My wife consoled me by saying that she can't change what happened and that she will always be sorry for me. I'm a perfect husband, father, son, but I couldn't be a good lover because I spent excessive time outside. I took her on vacation twice a year, date nights once or twice a month, and we got intimate 2 or 3 times a week. My sister chimed in and told me she knew but couldn't bring herself to tell me. Hearing the commotion, my mom came in with the baby. She explained to me that she can't change the outcome. My wife and brother already have a baby together, and that my son grew attached to it. I should accept it and move on. I was the older brother, and I should forgive them. I called her out and told her, how can my own family betray me like that? I told my wife I don't need a wife for whom I have to compete with other men, despite her being my wife. I then told her she will get the divorce papers, and told my backstabbing brother that I always stood up for him. And now he's the one to backstab me. My phone was blowing up. My father told me he is with me, but can't say anything openly due to my mother. He told me that he's sorry for being a bad father and said my mom knew about the affair, but didn't speak about it. I told him I don't care. I don't need a family that stabs me in the back, and he can gladly cut me off from the family. After the divorce, I haven't told her family yet. My soon-to-be ex-wife calls me every day, 100+ times, and says my son misses me. My brother hasn't reached out to me yet. My sister apologized to me, telling me she should have, but she couldn't be a good sister, and that I am her role model. She is always proud to have me. I haven't replied to them at all. My mother called me to tell me we all make mistakes, and we can be a family again if I decide to forgive. She hinted that my children need a father figure, and if I can't be there, there's my brother to take care of my family. She then told me the court won't give me custody, and if she stands up for them, things might go wrong for me. That infuriated me, and I blocked her. I haven't talked to any of them in the past 2 days. Divorce can be expensive here, but it is what it is. I haven't told anyone about this, haven't slept well, and I can't eat anything. I feel like I've lost my reason to live. In just a week, I've lost everything. My family, my wife and kids, my dignity, everything. I feel like dying because there is no purpose to my life, at least now. I talked to the lawyer. The lawyer said I'd have to pay spousal support. Getting primary custody will be hard. Again, divorce here is expensive. I'm looking at around $900 a month for spousal support for her and our daughter, and 50-50 custody of my son and half the assets. I also noticed I wrote DNA test. Sorry, it was a paternity test of my daughter and brother, and it confirmed at 99%. Update. This is a small update on my situation. I thought things would be better with time, but it instead turned worse. I left the house after finding out and got my finances in order, met lawyers, and started divorce proceedings. I got the papers this Friday. My wife came over, and we had a talk. She told me she doesn't want a divorce for our son. She apologized and acknowledged that this is her fault. I told her I wanted a divorce regardless and gave her the papers. She had the audacity to initiate sex, like I was going to give in. I told her to leave after that. This Saturday, my sister, who lives in the Netherlands and came here for vacation, called me, and we had a talk. She apologized on her part. She was put in a conflicted position as our mom begged her not to tell me. She told me our mom was worried about my health and how I would react. Also, that my younger brother coerced my mom into doing this. Things got a little clearer after that, but regardless, it doesn't make me feel any better. I also met my son and spent the day with him on Saturday, taking him to a gaming zone that's really popular here. I told him what I planned. He tells me he knows my mom weeps every day, and my wife says she's just lost. My sister and I already agreed. We are taking our names off from the family and do not want any of the inheritance. I'm going to cut off myself from the family and move to a different country. My sister already told me she can help if I choose to move to the Netherlands. That might be my destination. Now, after a year of divorce, it isn't easy. The days are long and hard, especially when you think about the incident. I've lost count of how many times I've thrown up. My blood pressure is tremendously low, as well as my sugar levels. Yesterday afternoon, my father called and told me my mom was in the hospital. She suffered a bad stroke and collapsed at the table during lunch. Her condition isn't very great. Dad told me she wants to meet me, and the doctor told us to pray. Her condition isn't good enough to get her discharged. My wife is handling everything for now. My brother is just visiting for a few hours and then leaving. My newborn daughter is with my wife in the hospital, along with my son and dad. My dad told me this might be it. He wants me to visit. I told my sister. She's conflicted about it. If I'm being honest, part of me wants to visit her, but the majority part doesn't. She's my mother, no matter what, but she chose to betray me. She chose to hurt me. She chose to support my wife instead of me. It wasn't the cheating that was bothering me. It wasn't that my wife slept with my brother and chose him over me. It was all the betrayals that my family did. It was that everyone knew, and no one chose to tell me. It was that my own mother prioritized her other son and threatened to cut me off from the family. Now suddenly, she's in the hospital, and she wants to see me. Many of my relatives visited my mom in the hospital. Word of my wife's affair got out to a few close relatives. My favorite uncle absolutely destroyed her right in the hospital by calling her and my brother the most vile things. It took my teenage son to get my uncle into his senses and regain calmness. I've talked to a few friends. They're advising me to divorce, move on, move to another country, and settle down with someone else. I don't know anything. I don't have any plans because right now, I just can't. I can't plan anything. I've talked to my lawyer too. He told me I can get my share of the inheritance if my mother didn't create a will. I can't get it if I resign my inheritance or if she cuts me off. Nothing of that sort happened. I don't have any interest in the inheritance money or family. I just want my son so I can escape this godforsaken family and just be sane. As for the paternity, it's going to be tougher than the divorce itself. Cheating isn't a deal breaker or trump card in most countries, but being a stay-at-home mom is and can destroy you in many ways. However, if I can leave my inheritance share, it might give me an upper hand, and I might not have to pay spousal support. It all depends on mutual agreement. I found out I can also lodge a complaint in my country against an affair partner, which in this case is my brother. As my son is a minor, I can also get a restraining order against my wife and my brother for my son, because the use of alcohol and drugs is frowned upon in my country. So I do have some hope, but currently I'm torn between my mother's condition. I can't believe what 3 weeks can do to you. It honestly is the lowest point of my life. The only thing that's holding me back is my son. Final update. I have a lot to say. I'm currently feeling nauseous. My hands are shaking as I type this out. I have a lot to say, but I can't today. Sunday, a good day. Today's the day my marriage finally ended. Our divorce was finalized today at the first hour, ending after nearly 16 years together. There are mixed feelings inside me. Part of me is glad, and part of me is down. I loved that woman. She was the second love of my life. She destroyed me. I have nothing to say to give you an update. Our custody arrangement is something like this. I'm the legal guardian of my son till he's 20. She's the legal guardian of our daughter till she reaches puberty. After that, till her marriage, I'm her legal guardian. My daughter will spend these few years with her, as she's really just 10 months old, but I can visit her whenever I want. Due to my country's laws, a birth certificate is issued after a child is a year old, so I have yet to sign for it. And I will sign. She is my daughter. I'll have to pay spousal support to her for 3 years. Child support will be provided until my kids are 18. I'm looking at 20% of my income, or around $1,000, if I put it out correctly. Altogether, for point of reference, we are from Asia, and $1,000 is worth a lot here. I don't have to pay alimony, just the amount known as Dean March. I didn't have to split assets, as infidelity is a big factor here. But I offered her one of my apartments, not for her, but for my daughter. I want my kids to grow up in a nice environment. And although what she did was wrong, I can't put them in danger, which is why I agreed to transfer one of my apartments to her name. So at the very least, they won't have to worry about housing. Her side of the family disowned her completely, so she will be living all alone. Her mom will be reaching out, and her sisters will help her out in taking care of my daughter. My ex-wife talked to me after our divorce. I could clearly see she didn't sleep. She thanked me for all these years together, asked my forgiveness, and this time, I told her I did. We both wished each other the best of luck and ended things. I know she was sad and heartbroken. I was too. It was probably for the best. I resigned from my job. With the amount of property my mom inherited, the job wasn't necessary in the first place. I'm going to take a few months off now. When I signed the finalized papers, it was as if a huge burden just left my body. I'll be seeing my mom in a few hours and spending the night at my house. I remember I told you that I won't try dating and my youth has passed. I'm turning 40 this year. Normally, 40 is a time when you begin to plan for your retirement and pave the roads for your kids, the new generation. But it feels like I'm going to restart at 40. I met a cousin of one of my friends on New Year's. She's 29. I was quite impressed with her. She's just ideal. Turns out she was the therapist I was looking for all along, and I can express it. I saw her again on January 14th at a festive event. It ended up with us drunk and in bed. I'm not proud of that. I still feel guilty about it. We became friends. I found out she was going to get engaged, but her boyfriend died. It took 7 years for her to let go of grief. She tried dating in between, but it wasn't good. My wife knows of her. I don't know how she feels about her. We haven't slept or communicated about us recently. I never even asked her how she felt. It's all a mess. It's been 4 months, and within this time period, a lot has changed. My life changed. My son grew up, and I'm proud of him. I mentioned before I originally had plans to visit the Netherlands, but I'm ditching it. This is the place where I was born. My forefathers were born and buried. My legacy lies here. I want my sons and their sons to know about their history and legacy, and I certainly don't see how I can achieve that in the Netherlands. My girlfriend I was talking about asked to visit, but I declined her offer. Tonight, it's just going to be me. I bought some Jack Daniels. I don't know what lies ahead down the road. I don't feel better or worse. I'm just nauseous, and I want a good sleep. I wish it was all a dream, and I could forget it. I don't know if I will ever have a good relationship with my brother again, or my mom or dad, or even my ex-wife. Things will never be the same again. I respect her as the mother of my kids. I will try and be there for her. My ex-father-in-law reached out to me. He told me he was sorry he couldn't be a good father to ensure their daughter's upbringing. Few things in life are meant to be that way. We spend time, money, and effort, and at the end, it isn't even our decision or choice that matters. Such are the sacrifices of both men and women. I admire people. I admire you guys who went through this traumatic period of life. Up until yesterday, there was a constant thought in my head if I made the right decision to divorce. That thought is still in my head. I don't know if I made the right choice. I don't know if I'll ever get over this betrayal. I don't know if I can start over. But for tonight, it's me. My son is with my mom. He will be staying there for the night. This is it, folks. This is it. Cheers to the road ahead. Thank you all.